Today's topic is about productivity. I don't know if you've noticed, but I recently added 3 P's in the description of the services that I provide to overwhelmed moms. These 3 P's are peace, purpose, and productivity. Peace in your home, purpose in your life, and productivity on what matters most to you. Today, as I said, is going to be a discussion about productivity. What is productivity and why does it matter for busy moms? We're already busy. Sometimes you may be thinking, why do I want to be more productive if I'm already overwhelmed, exhausted, and super busy every single day? I get that. I totally get that. I've been the mom who hears about productivity, doing more, and I'm thinking, I'm already doing a lot. There's so much on my plate. Why would I want to do any more? And I want to clarify my definition of productivity so that you can get a better understanding of what it means when I say productivity for overwhelmed moms. The typical definition of productivity is producing more. Now, this definition of more definitely makes sense for factories who produce products, or factories that produce products on an assembly line. You want more productivity in that assembly line so you can get more products. Newsflash, we are not products. We are people. We are complex human beings who deserve more than the typical definition of productivity. Because let's be honest, being more productive can often lead to burnout. You're so exhausted, you're doing more, and you just throw up your hands and say, I'm done. I cannot keep going at the rate that I'm going and enjoy life. And life is not about doing more of all the things every day for everyone. And I'm here to talk more about that today. If we're trying to do it all and we're constantly feeling overwhelmed, we are not living with intention. Being an intentional mom means that we make a decision. We choose how we want to fill our days so that life doesn't choose for us. If you're trying to do it all and you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, listen up. I believe that productivity, when it comes to life, mom life, is about getting the things done that matter most to you in the season of life that you're in on a consistent basis. If you're not intentional with your time, then life has a tendency to choose for you what's most important. Let me explain. It means that we are living a reactive life. We're in reactive mode. We live day to day without being intentional and without choosing how we fill our time. And so life throws things our way that are urgent. So we tend to live in reactive mode because we are just faced with what's urgent as it comes up. And these things that are urgent may not necessarily be what's important to us. Urgency and importance are two different things. Sometimes in life, your number one should be what's urgent and important. But when you've got that reactive mode coming in at you every day, and you're faced with what's urgent and life is telling you what's most important because you're having to react to that, then that in and of itself can be absolutely exhausting. It's important because if we're not proactive about how we spend our days, we're going to continually fall into that reactive trap. that constant day after day, just handling life as it comes at you, instead of being proactive. I'm all about proactively deciding what is most important to you and making decisions on those priorities, so that when life comes at us, we're able to view it from a lens of what matters most to us. Do we react to that urgent task? Not if it's not important to you. If it's not an important part of your life, then you need to really reflect and think on whether it's worth your time and energy. Because productivity is also about energy. How much energy do we have to dedicate to the people and things and places that are most important to us? Living life in alignment with your core values is crucial. It's one of the first lessons, one of the first pieces of advice that I give all the moms that I work with and that I share value to. If family is a core value to you, are your actions reflective of that value? If faith is a core value to you, are you living out this faith as a core value in what's most important to you? These are questions to ask yourself. Now, if you're thinking, I have no idea what core values are, I do have a training on helping you to identify your core values, because you can live life more intentionally when you know what's most important to you in the season of life that you're in. You may start a new chapter and need to reassess what's most important to you. You may have a new baby. You may be an empty nester. Reassess when you have changes in your life as to what your core values are. Most of your core values, I will say, will not change over time, even throughout the various seasons of your life. But it does help to reevaluate them, because maybe your 5 to 10 core values, your number 1 may become number 7 at a certain point in your life. Have you ever heard moving the needle? Moving the needle in the right direction. Now, what's the right direction? The right direction is the priority that you have in your life and the multiple priorities that you have in your life. Moving the needle in a right direction for you. Now, I used to work in public health, and I'm very passionate about the health and overall well-being of others. We had a CDC-based grant, and part of that grant was to help pregnant moms stop smoking. And we constantly talked about how we were going to move the needle. So we set goals, and inside those goals, we set an action plan on how to move the needle in the right direction towards decreasing the smoking rate for pregnant women in the state of Tennessee. And so I had a goal that I was focused on. I had action steps towards that goal, and I was focused on moving that needle. I identified that needle that I want to move. If you don't have your core values, your priorities on what matters most to you, you may be moving 15 needles that you honestly don't care about. You're taking action on something that truly doesn't matter to you. So we're spinning our wheels in terms of progressing towards being the best version of yourself and being successful on your terms. What does success mean for you? I want you to take steps toward your own goals, not goals that somebody else creates for you, but goals that you've identified that you want to achieve in your life. We're all individuals with different personalities in different seasons of life. So when you think about moving the needle, don't think about Sally down the street on what she's achieving, because what her priorities are may not matter to you. So I'm urging you to think about your priorities, what matters most to you, and becoming productive on doing things that help you live out your core values and help you move forward in becoming your best self. So what needle do you want to move? Do you know? Do you need to spend some time reflecting on what progress you want to make in your life? Do you have dreams that you have? Do you have a passion project? Do you want to improve your parenting? Do you want to improve your day-to-day? Think about goals that you have and start chipping away at them. Little, small steps at a time, over time, can result in big changes in your life. So my encouragement to you today is to show up for yourself, to show up for those core values, show up because you have these priorities in your life, and take action based on those core values. And in your heart, I believe that you will feel more productive without overwhelm and exhaustion, because you're not wasting your time on something that doesn't matter to you. You're focused on spending time on what matters most and becoming productive based on the goals that you set and the action steps that you planned along the way for you to move that needle. We're constantly thinking about what are we going to add to our life? What are we going to tack on to enhance your life and get more done and experience life to the fullest? But have you ever thought about editing? Edit, edit, edit. So reflect on a weekly or a monthly basis. Are there activities? Are there things? Are there other spots in your calendar that are being taken up by something that doesn't matter? How can you get rid of it? How can you take a step back from it at least? Think about editing in our life to help decrease the overwhelm so that you can spend more time being productive on what matters most. I hope that you take this advice and put it into action so that you can be productive on what's important. Have a wonderful day. Take care.